Good evening, everyone. Today I'm doing something special. You may say, but Vucekacek, you always say that. So, what is going on here? And I will tell you, you're right, because you all are so special and I always want to do something special for you. So, this time I will try to revisit old game from the last tournament. I played against Quincy Morris. I played as Dracula. Quincy played as Hunters, and I want about some st- strategies in some broader sense about what can Dracula do, sometimes what should, how to think about Hunters, about Dracula, how you can counter Dracula sometimes too. Not only how to improve Dracula, but how you can approach what Dracula does. Um, it was very specific game because Quincy is very proficient hunter, very experienced, so it is good to test your approaches against the best if you can. Uh, and I like that game. There was a lot of really cool actions and situations. I will rewatch recording made by Scotsword. Quincy made his own recording where he has the full hunter's perspective, and I first considered to use that, but then I thought that you know what, we I don't want to have the full informations that hunters have. I want to simulate a little bit of the more not that detailed but broad approach and a little bit of a Dracula perspective, and also there will be uh, quite a lot of things I think I will want to talk, so I don't want to delve into details too much. And Scott he knows the game in and out, so he has very good sense on what to pay attention to. If you want to view the game from the recordings of Scotsword or Quincy, I recommend that. Both perspectives are interesting, fun, and I think educational. And I realized despite the game was recorded twice, I think I can give even something more to this topic. So here we go. Let's start. Uh, this is an interesting game for me because Quincy is a very experienced hunter player, and I side with the Dracula side more. So this is like the contests of strength, let's say. Also, Quincy has, uh, in Quincy's opinion, East Start by Dracula is like manageable, not that scary, and he focuses more on other starts. So the type of competitive person I am, I was okay. I think that East Starts by Dracula are one of the strongest. Let's see. Let's test our opinions. Let's see who is right. It is like one game sample, so no, it doesn't it doesn't prove anything on its own, but still, um, the first location I started in is Athens. I do believe that Athens as first location is one of the strongest locations that Dracula can start. It is just so hard to reach, so hard to go back. There are a lot of small cities next, so and sometimes even if you have the uh, newspaper reports on day 5, it usually allows you to reach most of the locations and clear them, but with Athens it can be very difficult. So yeah, I started Athens, especially that if you are revealed, I think that it is better to have revealed. It is stronger for Dracula to be in revealed Athens than in revealed almost any other location, maybe with some exceptions. It is just the case that the start is so strong, it is often scouted, so sometimes it may be better to have unrevealed other location than Athens than revealed Athens. But not always. Actually, this game is pretty long, so I'll try to speed up if I will want to go into some tinier detail in few points. I maybe will pause, but I will try not to go the full 2 hours or maybe even over 2 hours because of the added commentary. Mm. So why the east start? Not only it is hard to clear, it is hard to reach. Also, especially that if the first week, the second week, sometimes horse economy is not perfect, which adds even more difficulty. But also you're an extremity side of the map, far away from other hunters. So for like a week, half a week, you're just 1v2, which is a very comfortable position for Dracula because it is very difficult for two hunters to be able to deal with the trail as well with the Dracula. And because of that, east is the best probably location to build lair strategies because you have that time to re-enter a lair and show where you started, uh, show where exactly you are, and other hunters are too far and not ready to just jump on you. And two hunters are not enough usually to fight you in a lair, even with with two encounters, but especially with three encounters. Uh, what I am, what I'm doing, so maybe speed up a little bit because this is standard start. Jonathan Harker here is totally not a scary ally for me. If Athens will be revealed when they slide to day 6, it is too late. Hunters cannot reach that anyway. And the downside of the East Start is that there are not that many locations, not that many connections. So it is quite easy to, once the trail is found, it is quite easy to follow the trail, which also reduces somewhat the power of Jonathan Harker because in most cases you can guess like what is the next location. In many cases this is just pick one of the two and sometimes not even that. uh, he also moved Mina to Godalming to scan Germany, which is understandable, but he moved away from the east, which makes me happy. It is not that big of a deal sometimes. If you have horses, it doesn't matter that much because uh, if you go through 38 or 58 with with two range horse move, you can move through 59 and reach uh, almost the same number of locations. But you don't always have horses. You on both hunters in the east. Sometimes horse economy is not perfect. Uh, you cannot use charted carriage, for example, if you want to like approach rapidly. So there are downsides. The standards supplying, I'm really happy to not see the newspaper reports on day 3 So it gives me more time and to build all my stuff that I want. And it also like made it be difficult for hunters to itemize for the next days, because if they know I'm east, then probably it is a good idea to keep one, maybe two stakes on Mina and Godalming. And if Stewart has to discard, or Helsing to discard a stake, that's not the end of the world. But if they don't know where I am, it's harder to itemize. If I'm in 39 Nont, then it is probably a good idea to keep a stake on Helsing or Stewart, right? So what I'm building here as a trail, as encounters, I'm building a trail with no vampires first, but with uh, important maturing encounters. So whenever he goes and clears that, it is not that big deal, because like I will have bodyguards. For example, I have mob, and if he doesn't, it is good for me too, because I will have matured bodyguards and mob in 55. Maybe they will mature and hit two hunters, or maybe I will have a strong glare with mob to go back to, which is still strong. Um, yeah, I will speed up a little bit. I remember that Quincy did some risky night supplies. He does that sometimes, and it worked for him. So good for him. I don't think it is a good idea, because if you give almost any, if not any, Dracula event in week one, he can design an opportunity to use it over the next few weeks of the game. But he has different approach, and sometimes he can accelerate his game plan by a lot. So I can understand that approach even if I don't agree. So soon the game will start and it will be interesting. Does he have newspapers here? No. So not easy for him. Yeah, that's supply. Uh, in most cases, this is a correct approach, I think. He has totally no idea, was I in Italy, was I East, France, probably not Germany, maybe even England. So, like, searching me by movement isn't the best option here, especially that there's no rumor. Okay, Sofia and Strasbourg, so he knows my exact location. Will Mina move here? Does he have a horse? She have an opportunity to try to approach Athens if she moves by horses twice in range 2 or with sense of emergency, but maybe he doesn't have it, maybe he's not prepared or decided it might be too costly. So he supplies more, which often makes sense. Supplying is the strongest hunter action actually. And now we will start the game. And it is interesting, he still is working on tickets, so it shows that his horse economy is not perfect, which is important note for Dracula, especially when you're east, because hunters are too important. Oh yeah, and a night supply here. And hunter event. And discard a hunter event. A trade. So some details, usually following those details, can be important. You can often deduce quite a lot from mina scans, from tickets buying like here, or Helsing trades, but I don't want to go that deep into detail. I want to go to something more general. Okay, I will stop for a moment here after the day prompts. So he knows I studied in Athens and I'm in Sofia, so 3 locations it could be, and he knows obviously I was through 55, so I either went 39 height or 39 650 or 36 height. These are the only 3 options how I was able to build a trail. So this is what I meant, that uh, this is the downside of East, that the trail doesn't have that many options. And what I'm surprised when I watched Quincy and Scotsword's perspective is they assumed that Godalming can move safely to 49 because most probably Dracula isn't here. And that's why I stop here, because I think that it should be very probable that Dracula is here. Okay, let me explain why. Uh, and it is very important to take what is in my trail as a context. My trail contains bodyguards, mob, hoax with saboteur and bats here. My trail is so that whenever hunters reach it or not, I'm in most cases fine. If Godalming reaches mob or bodyguards, I don't lose that much. They trigger, I learn the location, it is fine. If he reaches 46, it is protected by saboteur, he will get delayed, he will maybe reveal a weapon, so it will make him lose time, and maybe he will not even have that time to clear my hoax because he gets delayed by saboteur. And so my, let's call it, my trail is self-sufficient. It can protect itself, and in a way it protects me, because the more they clear it, the more they are damaged, and then more I am free to do whatever I want. So in this specific situation, yeah, I'm not that much incentivized to go 39, hoping that Godalming jump on me. Maybe I want to build trail further so that they will need to search for the trail, not just move on the trail for free. But let's imagine my trail will be built a little bit different. Let's imagine in Athens there are bodyguards, in 55 there is a hoax, and 46 is a vampire with saboteur. It's completely different because hoax is quote unquote defenseless. I mean, delaying hunters so they lose the action is still valuable, but mature effect of the hoax is like too powerful, right? And then again, if I had vampire here, damaging and weakening Godalming might protect the vampire, so he will be too scared to move. And also, I would know his items, so I know, does he have a stake, so I should ambush him. Maybe he doesn't have a stake, so I don't need to ambush him, and he has to fight desperately in the night, right? And what more, if I count on this vampire maturing, he would clear the height, 50, and the 39. So by moving under potential hunter movement, I would ensure that the location that is cleared still encounter triggers. and then hunters need to expend some resources to survive the fight, escape the fight, try to damage me, and all of that. So I think this was what was a little bit overlooked by other commentators, that there, depending on how your trail is built, you either want to move with Dracula and protect the trail with your body, or no. Especially that in the east, I'm still close to the castle, so even if I lose like 10 health, I can go to the castle, I can feed, and there's no Agatha, so maybe in the combat I can use Fangs. In multiple games, I was able to lose like even 10 health in the first week or second week, and then go back to full health by the end of the second week. So, but hunters lose their power, they lose their items, they lose their uh, events, so they are set back and need to go back, heal, while my trail matures or I build some nasty layers. So that was some uh, extensive pause and a talk, but I think it is quite important to, I don't know how to say, acknowledge maybe that you can protect your trail with your own body as Dracula, especially in the east, because the worst that can happen is a 2v1, and especially week 1, you can try taking on those. So it was risky move by hunters. Maybe they were equipped for that, maybe not. Uh, but yeah, this is one of the like general concepts I wanted to introduce. Like the way of thinking. I think it would be uh, maybe some next level and cool thing if, depending on how Dracula treats his own trail, would actually tell uh, could tell something about the said trail. So my Athens is maturing, which is quite cool. I like bodyguards matured, and there are decent protection tool, but also an assassination tool, which I will say a little bit more a bit later. And yeah, discard pile. It starts playing a role, so it is good that Scotsword shows here. And it is actually very interesting. We have 2 knives and 2 rifles discarded, which means that there were some difficult choices for hunters to do. Knife is like the strongest, or with Heavenly Host, they're the strongest combat items. So discarding them is like losing them is a big hit for hunters, especially that there are only 3 of them. And and 2 rifles too. So actually, I know that there are top maximum 3 weapons that can escape as bats. So until the deck is reshuffled, I know that at least one hunter is not able to stop escape as bats if it comes to this. Uh, and here is another point. Where do I go as Dracula? I see that Godalming is going for my trail. I see that Mina stays. I can try to go around Godalming and wolf form past Mina, like exit the east. But then I also see that both Seward and Helsing are staying in place. So they're not rushing toward me. They're not trying to bunch up on me. So I decided, yeah, if I am given the time, I will take the time that I'm given. and I will keep my distance. I don't need to move toward hunters. Let them move toward me, right? So from 6, I move to 28 in the idea that, okay, I will see what happens today, and most probably I will plan to loop around and go back to my lairs or to Ionian Sea. Uh, Naturally, Godalming moves to 55 to clear it, which is a good decision, especially that you don't want to like give away hoaxes or some free aristocratic matures, because this is like free stuff for Dracula, right? And but 55 is actually a mob, because I was considering that if it will not be cleared, I might go back there to as a lair and have free encounters, so I can fight or I can just leave the lair. And it's a mob, and it's decent that the closest hunter to me is damaged by 3 damage, which is a lot, and he has horses and a stake, so I know that he has only 1 combat item. So he is very very weak, like he is no competition. If we fight, his goal should be to try to escape desperately, maybe, because he can't even count on dealing me that much damage. Which convinced me further that I am just going to going to loop around. I'm going to 10, and this is very important and game deciding turn. I don't know exactly why, but Quincy decided to jump to 10 with Godalming. He probably noticed, I mean, he assumed that maybe it is a vampire with hide, so he will not be able to clear it because he didn't have full warrant on Godalming. So if it is a vampire, it will clear the next 3 hideouts. Hide, Sofia, Belgrade. So why move there, right? So maybe he was thinking, yeah, he will go to 10 to catch me later, but he actually caught me now. Which is big deal when you have only 8 health. I'm on vampire, and he showed me that has only 1 combat item. And I know that combat item isn't a knife, which is important, because 2 knives are in the discard and Mina is holding another knife, and I get a point. Juicy point, and that put him down to 6 health, which again is important because anything plus claws just kills him. Just kills him if there are no events. So we'll go to that back later, right? Go back to that later. Now it is important. Usually hunters like to stay with Seward in Paris, so he can meet up with Helsing, and they can trade some items. But here he moved Seward before joining with Helsing, which is also an important thing to remember, that Helsing didn't trade items with anyone. It is a minor detail right now, but may be important in future. Mina moved here. Oh, and this is important thing. I have bodyguards, which is a big deal. I can put down Godalming to 4 health, so he can die when clawed. That, and also maybe he doesn't even have a weapon. Maybe he's going with Heavenly Host. Most hunters avoid that. Quincy is actually, I'm not sure if only But among the experienced hunters, one of that moves hunters without the weapon most most commonly. Is there a word like that? I don't know. So in this moment, it appeared to me that it's a good opportunity. Yeah, let's go and kill him. But I think it was actually a misplay. I should have not used the bodyguards because uh, I in a 1v1 situation like that I don't need that much the information to about his weapon, and maybe if I will bring him down to 2 health I can stay in place and then use bodyguards to finish him off without, and no even can stop that. But I use bodyguards here to deal the damage and to see what is his combat item. Most probably rifle, right, in this situation, and indeed a rifle, which for example tells me that I can fang him safely. He can't counter that. And to keep his hunter alive, he used 2 strong combat events, which tells a lot how dangerous it can be to if you play that dangerous Dracula and if you misstep with your hunter. He just searched one mob, moved once, and he is in a big danger of dying, and he has to expend 2 very strong hunter events to try to keep Kodaming alive. And this is funny, in my open hand I had 2 claws, so and I know that he has rifle. I intentionally used claws here, so he uses the rifle to damage me, and then I use claws on the second turn to deal him the damage. And I don't want to use fangs here, I want to be damaged because I plan to use feed and to try and kill him. So here the damage, as you can see, the damage from bodyguards didn't matter because it was prevented by Lucy's revenge anyway. So I didn't need that damage. And I played into rifle kinda intentionally. So, and this is, in my opinion, the power of the East. As I said at the beginning, it is strong because you can play 2v1 for some time, and it is hard for hunters to keep up with Trail and Dracula. And now Godalming is so demolished that he cannot really participate that much, and it will be 2v1 for a few days again, and sometimes it can really spiral out of control, especially in the East. I was surprised that Godalming staked the vampire here, being on only 2 health. He should consider that I can stay here and try to finish him off, and difference between 2 and 3 health is a big difference. I think the I was thinking, why did he do that? It's not like he doesn't know what can happen. Quincy is very experienced hunter. He makes decisions, with experience and with intent. So I was thinking that either he believes that he can keep Godalming safe, alive, maybe not safe, but alive anyway, or that he's able to jump on me if I stay here. So as Dracula, one of the hardest thing is to how to manage your safety. How safe are you? If I stay and I don't manage to kill him during the day, if he uses renewed vigor, he can move Seward here and then use charted courage, and then he can horse with me and move, or use sense of emergency to also join. Now that there are no reckless vampire, they are free to enter without any issues, and it may be very dangerous 3v1 fight, or 2v1 if Godalming just moves away. I decided to risk it anyway because I have Hawks maturing, so I hoped that I will have something that will help me. And I got Darkness Returns, which is a big deal because now I can stay and fight with Godalming. It will be night fight and he cannot get any support. And also I will put time pressure on hunters because, okay, Sofia and Belgrade are moving closer to the end of the trail, so do they really want to jump on me 2v1 again? Because even if Godalming survives, he will not be like not be able to introduce too much power in the fight. And if the fight doesn't work well, my trail will start maturing again, or if he leaves me alone and matures and clears the trail. So what I was thinking here, I have Darkness Return. Do I want to use it? How much do I want to risk it? Do I want to day fight and risk maybe being jumped on? Or do I want to use Darkness Returns to be safe? In the end, I decided for Darkness Returns for the extra safety, because it would be a shame to lose a game right now, or like be heavily battered and put into disadvantage. But I think I might have been overly cautious. Even if he gets out of this day fight, I think if he used Renewed Vigor to fight 2v1 versus me, and it is still only week 2, I think it would be pretty decent situation for me, especially being next to the castle, maybe able to escape as Dracula and getting feedback. But I decided to use Darkness Returns and to see what happens. Is it Helsing traded with Godalming, so it may be it might have been escape, it might have been heroic leap to just accept Godalming death and weaken me, but it was lucky find, which made me really happy because again another very strong hunter combat event used not to damage Dracula or win the game, just to keep one hunter alive. And lucky find for Garlic Ref for this item, which is quite understandable. If he dies right now from Fangs Attics, I will lose health, but it is a knife fight, I mesmerize him, and it doesn't play a role anymore. On the other hand, Fangs don't deal damage, so I cannot kill him with Fangs. I remember I had a hand of 1 escape, 2 mesmerizes and 2 plottings, so I was quite happy because my combat plan for this combat was to use mesmerize plotting, and hunters rarely expect double plotting, because what are the odds, right? He punches here. If I clawed him here, I don't know even if I had the claws, I would just kill him. But he punches here. Yeah. So basically here it is either, yeah, so I mesmerize him. I wasn't able to kill him with fangs anyway, and if I claw, maybe he plays rifle, but if I strength, then maybe he plays escape. So I wanted to extend this battle one more, with the thought in mind that I should be able to trigger the second plotting, because yeah, what are the odds that I have? It's two plotting and play them, and he punches that guy. The yeah, uh, you know, the picture shows otherwise, but judging by his character, he doesn't have that much hair. Okay, and this is round 5, and it is very tricky right now because with no plottings, it is a 50-50. If he escapes and I play claws, he dies. But if I play claws and he plays rifle, he's totally safe and even deals me damage. Round 6, he uses dodge, and I mean, I can escape as bats, which isn't that big of a deal here, to be honest, because when you look at the map, where do I escape? So I actually uh, considered that and decided, you know what, I will just take a point. I will play fangs, I will get my health back to full, I will have a bite, I will have a point. Still good enough, especially that each point matters, as we see that later. Every single point that I manage to gather will amount to the end result of this game, or the way I was able to play. And yeah, so he played around rifle, and the first prompt shows, showing that it was great strength. And it is funny because Quincy overlooked that it was a night fight because of Darkness Returns. There are so many, which is funny because there are so many powers, though, so many cards, though, so many interactions, that even someone as experienced as Quincy overlooked that quite important detail. If I clawed one of the turns when he punched, he hoped that great strength will keep him safe, but actually he would have died. So this is, if I did notice that he didn't notice that it is night fight, I would be much more confident in trying to kill him. So in the end, Godalming is barely on 3 health, 4 very powerful, yeah, like very strong hunter events are gone. So, and I'm still on full health. It is a very big win for Dracula that impacts what you want to do, because suddenly hunters are not that strong and I'm still at my full strength. It is a shame that I used my Darkness Return and bodyguards. If I saved one of those resources, it would be much more juicy. But overall, keeping hunters low, in the end, I believe I won in that exchange, because I keep moving, I keep building my trail, and hunters need to spend time to get back their strength. They're not able to that much to me anymore. So yeah, one of the uh, one of another key points in the game. So I don't have that much choice where to move. Like 56 and 28 were on the trail. I don't want to corner myself in 22, so obviously I moved to 17. Mm, yeah, sometimes obvious moves can be too dangerous because they're obvious, so hunters can play around them and prepare for them. But I'm not, let's say, I'm not resigning that move, especially that in 50. Ooh, Agatha. Oh, that none. I'm really glad that she showed now, not earlier. And now 50 is maturing, so I hoped it may trigger some uh, desperate response from Quincy that he would jump there to clear it, and there are bats. So I will be happy for him to trigger them. It will just prolong me being safe. But he wasn't able to, or decided that it is not worth, which is not a big deal. It is really good, and the biggest value and strength of the lair strategy is that as Dracula, if hunters search bats, you're happy, this is their role, they don't mature, but bats can go to lair and still just make a very strong lair. So you win-win as Dracula. uh, and this is why I think it is very important to be able to maybe not like use theirs constantly, but to think if it is possible to use them or how to use them. And this is another very crucial and game deciding turn, even if it doesn't look like it. He knows that I am most probably in 17. If I don't pay attention and move to 56, he can use renewed vigor to move with Mina and Seward with horses and jump on me, and move with Godalming. Weekend, not weekend, doesn't matter. It will be 3v1 with Agatha with me next to the sea. So he may just win the game on the spot there. Knowing that, and knowing that I have spy and spy, okay, maybe I will. Yep. Okay. I want the prompts to disappear. You know what? Yeah. So Quincy is thinking exactly the same. Okay, but okay. Oh, there's no prompt. So if I move to 56, I may lose the game. And funnily enough, if I hide in 17, I am extremely safe. This is like really crazy in this game. Like that, how to say, maybe not that minor details. Is it a minor detail? That details play that much role because first of all, for Mina and Seward, it is hard to reach 17. The only way is to have movement event or yellow to ticket, but his horse economy is actually really good, and it doesn't seem that he has too many yellow to tickets. He can move on me if he horses onto 53 and then yellow tickets into 17, which is a very specific way to approach. Apart from that, I'm in a quote-unquote castle. I'm very safe. I have 50 that is lair with a bats. If he steps on that, I can trigger bats, I can trigger the lair and just neutralize the hunter. 6 and 28 both are spies, so if he tries to approach this way, clear it or trigger, he will lose his combat power, and Godalming is still demolished, right? So, like, I'm in a way like quote unquote protected by my castle here, which, if you achieve that as Dracula, is a very fun feeling. That hunters sometimes can know where exactly are you, and and cannot do that much about it. Especially very important is that Belgrade and 6 and 28 are spies, so if I survive this turn, I, spies will play the role, because he either will clear them or I will mature them, uh, weakening hunters even more. And it is really cool search here. Uh, Minor detail, but I think it is important. Sometimes hunters try to search a location they think Dracula is, and it was like a good guess that I might have been in 56, but searching 17 is strictly better, because if he sees that I was in 17, then and I'm not hiding, and he knows I'm in 56 anyway. But if he searches 17 and sees me like now I'm hiding here, it tells him much more than if he searched 56 and saw that it is not on a trail. Because maybe I did some really tricky and weird stuff with 22. And I think that Quincy a little bit overlooked here the renewed vigor play. That, considering his cards and his events, uh, he cannot reach me. He can reach 56, but not 17. For a moment I was scared there, because I thought that maybe I overlooked something, or maybe he has prepared stuff on Mina and Seward. But even then, I'm in Constanta with high, there's mob, there's bodyguards, so a lot of damage and some weapon reveal. So where do you go? Seward. And this is yeah, so I decided to ambush him, because I still wasn't sure what is his plan, and it appeared that probably he was going to just clear the trail because he realized he can't reach me. Maybe I shouldn't have ambushed here. But sometimes I sometimes do this mistake, that Dracula holds too much on his encounters, and hunters just jump over them, don't search them, and just go to kill Dracula. So I just wanted to make sure to weaken Seward. But I got rid of Forewarned, which was surprising. I didn't expect Spy to be Forewarned. Maybe he has white one tickets, he doesn't want to lose them. Maybe he has only one weapon, he doesn't want to lose them. Maybe he doesn't have a weapon, he's hiding something. So, Renewed Vigor, like the second strongest event in the game, but burned. I'm fine, which is big success. Again, and yeah, Helsing moves here because in preparation for Dracula to move to sea and go toward west, being in Marseilles is really good. Now here, Mina goes on to spy, and I decided that I will not ambush her, because she will probably search it in the night by herself. So why giving her the night action? Not sure how was that important. Just a minor detail here. And this will be another crucial turn, which will be more obvious by the results. Stake, spy. Okay. So what? And a knife discarded. So what do you do here as Dracula? You have 3 hunters next to you. You are cornered, and there's the sea. On the other hand, Mina has only horse and a stake. She has no combat power. Seward, admittedly, he is dangerous. I know he has a horse. Following his item deck, I know that there is still stake somewhere. Maybe Seward has it. Maybe Helsing has it, but also maybe Seward. And Godalming is weak. Hunters are very weak here. So I think this is another important thing as Dracula to be able to like estimate in how much danger are you, how uh, yeah, and it is like on the map it sees that I'm 3v1, but Mina doesn't play a role. Hunter is not the Godalming is not a full hunter. He supplied twice and is in low health. If he tries to jump on me, he may die. And Seward is the only dangerous person, but following all the items and all item discards, uh, I know Seward more or less Seward items because Seward didn't supply after item deck reshuffled. And I know that between Helsing and Seward there is one rifle, 3 heavenly hosts, and a garlic. So heavenly host is dangerous. 2 heavenly hosts can be dangerous too, but overall that, especially if he would have 3 combat items, that would be really scary. But if he has 2 combat items and it will be even like heavenly host rifle, it is dangerous but not that crucial to run away to sea when you have 15 health as a drag. So I estimated my guess, my estimation was that I am actually safe here and I risk moving to 56 and I don't even put down combat encounter. I move bats because I really want the the constanta to be triggered, bodyguards with the mob. Uh, so I want to have bats to be able to bat someone here if they will go here after I leave this place. And also 50 has bats too, so I can make some bat train. And this is like this is a check in a sense. We both who because Quincy horses on me here, so he believes that I am not safe, and I move here believing that I am safe. Who is right? What is important? Okay, maybe in a moment. Uh, Agatha obviously plays a role because it is Agatha. Uh, she can deal damage and she can deny stuff from Dracula, but it is only 2v1. I have 15 health, and what is important, I have damaging encounters in Constanta, dealing some more damage to Godalming will allow me to kill him. And killing hunters is always fun. So yeah, what? And so this is very important. I have narrowed down Seward items. I don't know exactly what he has, but maybe you know. I can bet that Scotsword soon will press the I button because it's Scotsword. Come on, Scotsword. Thank you. Thank you, Past Scotsword. So I'm really relieved to see that Steward has only 2 combat items. So whatever combination you put of those items that I listed, it isn't deadly. It may be dangerous, it may damage me, but it isn't that I lose the game right here on the spot. Got him in a city with tricky because he supplied twice, so he went for 4 items. I saw him discarding a rifle, which another thing, which actually tells a lot. If you discard a rifle, it means that you have something, another rifle or something better. So I put him on like 2 rifles, a rifle and a knife, knife and heavenly host not. I know that Helsing doesn't have heavenly host because I know there are 3 heavenly hosts between Seward and Helsing. So what to do here? This is very tricky. I don't know if Seward will punch, if he will heavenly host, will he use, I don't know, garlic, rifle, but I know that for sure Godalming has some dangerous weapon, rifle or knife. So instead of like blindly fishing for heavenly host on Seward, and especially that whenever I hit or miss, I will lose 2 health because of that Agatha, I decided to try to damage Godalming because maybe I'll kill him and maybe I'll protect myself from his weapons. It is difficult to play like that because he might have been dodging with Godalming. He has low health, so if I expend resources on Godalming when he is dodging and Seward just does stuff to me, it is like free combat for him. And but yeah, but also while I was thinking, also consider how big of a deal was the previous series of combats with Godalming. Imagine this fight, but add to that Lucy's Revenge, Great Strength, Plant Ambush, Lucky Find. Suddenly, with additional items, with me not able to escape or Godalming having effectively +4 health, hunters would be totally safe here. They wouldn't need to consider me retaliating, escaping, all of that. But right now, the situation is different. I guessed correctly to break Godalming's knife. I dealt him damage so he's in kill range, and I know that there's no cheeky hiding great strength that can save him. I know that 4 damage kills him here. And I got 4 damage from Seward, which is 4 damage. It is a lot. I will not heal because of Agatha, but they both are down an item, so their combat power is greatly reduced. Godalming needs to watch out not to die. So in the end, I believe in this combat, Hunter's in a bigger danger than me. Especially that if I deal 2 more damage to Godalming, I know for sure that my Constanta can kill him. So what do I do here? I didn't know what Godalming will do. Will he dodge and then try for him to rifle me turn 3? Will he punch? Will he escape? What I was feared the most that is that Seward will use Heavenly Host on me here, and Godalming, for example, will knife me, and then I will be dealt 7 damage. I will be down to 4 health, and all that talk, all that talking about hunter, power, danger, will just go out the window. I'll be with 4 health, with Agatha, against 2 hunters and next to the sea, and it would be game. So I was mostly afraid that Seward has double, double heavenly host. But even if he has rifle, he probably punches or rifles here, or maybe escapes with a Godaming, so I can fang him. So it is in most cases the correct play. Does Seward have garlic? I mean, would be he so keen to jumping on me with garlic? Wouldn't he play garlic turn 1, hoping that I would try to guess Heavenly Host? Would he show me garlic here and show me for the rest of the combat that he has like next to useless item in the combat? Considering all that, I decided to fang, and I fanged into garlic. And I was like so confused. What is going on? Like, Quincy, what are you playing? Like, this doesn't make sense. And what worse, it's working. So I, and then everything made sense. He had Holy Circle on Godaming, so he was planning to end the combat right here, right now, not give me ability to escape as bats, and ability to kill Godaming, and I totally like didn't see this even as a possibility. So his play to like play knife and heavenly host turn 1 all made sense. It was like very tricky strategy how to jump on me and damage me, expecting that I'm going to see. Just deal me as much damage as he can. So I will go to the sea, be damaged even more, and then land, being able to die on 1 hit, for example, on 1 combat. But, not but, but bats. Bats, push, uh, calming, force him to. I know that he doesn't have forewarned. Like, showing the mob didn't really matter. He was dead either way. And yeah, I get influence. I got rid of a horse after the deck got reshuffled. And uh, all of that for 6 health damage on me. Was it worth it? In this specific situation, I think it was extremely worth it, actually, because now I'm not surrounded by hunters. I am not in almost any danger, so I don't need to go to the sea. I I don't need to run away. I have 9 health, and after all of that, hunters are uh, like thrown, like they are back into the Stone Age in a sense that Mina has no combat items. Seward has only garlic, so they literally cannot do like almost nothing to me. And I still have a juicy lair in 50, so I can move there, and they cannot even move onto me. So that jump of Godalming and Stewart was understandable. It is quite often that hunters want to jump and damage Dracula, even if not win the game, but damage Dracula, so it will be detrimental to him when he uh, goes to sea. And expend some resources, and when Dracula is at sea, you can supply back and heal back. But this jump in specific made hunters weaker than me, so as I said, I don't need to go to sea, and bought me time. It's not like I won the game here, or that they cannot do anything. still there is possibility of CG, there's possibility of renewed vigor. If I will be too long on the land, there are just a few days of like 2-3 days of supply and healing. Godalming will move out and supply a few times. Maybe Helsing will come closer, and they're like definitely able to jump on me and kill me. So local rooms, yeah, that ends. So the thing is that I know I have time. The question is how much time do I have? Because my time is quite uh, limited, obviously. But, but the lair power is unlimited. And this is very difficult situation for hunters too. What Helsing does, his role was to wait for me to move toward him and be ready to supply, to spread events, and then when I be next to him, to jump on me, to find me, to kill me or damage me or clear the trail. But right now, like though the east is safe for me, so to should Helsing move toward me, or should he still wait? This is like a strategical decision, like of position. It is because if he stays here waiting for me, I may never come to him because I will not be pressured to come to him. But if he moves towards me to pressure me, well, then obviously no one is waiting. So this is a very interesting decision. Like the single move can be very interesting, right? Uh, but yeah, the so this is something what I sometimes try to show or like to express to be able to estimate hunters' strength or how dangerous hunters are as Dracula, and not to play too scared and too avoidant because that might uh, that may damage you more than hunters. Imagine I escape to Black Sea instead of going to 56. Then, yeah, I mean, the hunters would be Helsing would, I mean, Golem would heal. They would resupply with items, events. Trail is clear. Uh, it would be an extremely hunter favored game, but right now it's quite the opposite. So there is some resupplying. Obviously, hunters are in a position where it is risky for them because the game is heavily favored, in my opinion, for the Dracula. So if he makes any more mistakes, like any mistake, or waste resources, it can be a game. So how can he win? Yeah. So it was quite a dangerous move by me. I moved to Valona. So I specifically again positioned so it is obvious where I am. What more, but I felt at least a bit safe because one forward was used and Valona had a fog. I actually learned it with a fog, considering that I will need to uh, go back to go back there, one way or the other. And my second encounter here is desecrated soil. I basically made a bet that hunters will not jump me here, and even if I will be protected, uh, I can make that bet because I saw their items that they're not ready. How much can they supply? How much were they able to supply really? And also, I know that a list of very dangerous combat and events is down. So if they even jump on me with some random supplies, they need to uh, work for every damage that they will be able to do. It's not like you can plant ambush and then play knife and or heavenly holes, so you have some guaranteed damage, right? Obviously, the issue is heroic clip, but heroic clip is always an issue. And yeah, so what to do more? I have two layers. The free encounter layer obviously has a rumor. I know, I basically know that Mina has one stake because she showed that, and I know that Stewart has a stake because in combat he had two non-combat items, and all of the bullets, garlic reefs, and dogs were discarded. So only non-combat item that he can have was a stake. So if I want to mature a vampire here, it is tricky thing because basically I need to put down at least 3 vampires because 2 vampires are easily staked. Or I can try to delay and uh, hunters so much that they will not be able to reach my vampires. So this is funny because the initial layer was bats and wolf. Again, when I learned it, I placed wolves because I considered that maybe I will re-enter it, and then I will have to. I may be jumped, so wolves to protect me. But in the moment when I was re-entering, I knew that they cannot fight me, and if someone will come to try heroic lead me, I mean they will die to wolves and damage from the heroic leap. So actually I placed down rats because Mina had no weapons, Seward had only garlic. So if Seward doesn't have pistol or rifle, and some of them were discarded and all of that, rats can do actually a lot of damage because I rat Seward and they stay. So if he wants to clear that, Mina needs to go back and get hit by rats again, being dealt 2 more damage. Yeah, and here is probably when he realizes, oh wait, if Sword is damaged and battered, and I need to deal with that one, probably need to deal with that one, and Dracula still has wolf form, maybe Dracula didn't make the obvious Athens move, maybe he went to 39, moved to 59, and then wolf form, and that would be nasty for hunters because again my trail is long and I disappear, quote unquote, in the many connections Europe. So he brought the support of Helsing, uh, which put some pressure on me anyway. Okay, Mina, do you have? And Mina doesn't have pistol, no, nor rifle either. So when she searches it, she will be dealt another 2 damage. So this will be 6 damage rats. Amazing, and the rats will stay. So when my encounter that will get reshuffled, they will not go back. They dealt their job. And this is funny. I pushed Seward to a reckless vampire. Because I have bats in LR or on trail, I placed down reckless because I had an approach, as I mentioned before, that I intended not to place many vampires, but instead place one but hard to reach. So I used my vampires in the lair because if I mesmerize Stuart him here. If he will use the punch to avoid plotting, I used Fangs, which will give me whopping 2 influence, so half reckless mature, but didn't happen. So I was wondering, maybe for the better, because there's a bug that if reckless uh, ambush reckless at night bites, it should give 2 influence points, but then it has some issues with calculating those points, and sometimes the game crashes, and it would be a shame to lose such a game. So yeah, Sword is down a lot of health, and delayed, and Mina stakes but finds no vampire. She finds wolf and rats, and so it is pretty big information. So I still know that Seward holds only garlic, and Mina has no weapons. He's one health. So I'm in Athens, and I am most probably safe. I mean, Seward cannot jump me. The only way he would be able to jump me was if both he used renewed vigor, and both Helsing and Godalming were able to move here and sense of emergency here. But yeah, not that probable. And it delays them further, in a sense that there's another layer with 2 encounters. What is in there? Is it safe to enter there? Does he bring Helsing or Godalming to deal with that? Then it like opens the rest of the map. Not a good choice. So he cannot enter here like today. Literally, he's delayed and damaged. So he needs to just get back on his feet. The issue is that since I know that in the first rotation of items there were 2 knives discarded, and I know that nor Mina nor Seward have knife, it is a good chance that Godalming and Helsing have knives, I and I know that Helsing has 2 heavenly hosts and a rifle, which is quite scary actually. And Godalming has 1 event, and he has 3 items because he kept supplying. So uh, it was a bit dangerous moving here around, uh, be- because with renewed vigor, sense of emergency, maybe some excellent weather, these two would be able to close the distance surprisingly fast. And also Quincy is very, let's say, combo oriented, by which I mean that he doesn't miss opportunities to jump on Dracula with combination of various events and movements. So I needed to constantly keep in mind how much I can die here. Like, uh, what are in how much danger I can be. But I assume that double sense of emergency. Come on. So yeah, I prolonged enough from the fight in 56 that I regained 3 health by feeding. So I got enough health that I can move by sea and maybe do something later. Was I able to hide here? No, I wasn't able to hide here. I was thinking, should I hide here maybe to protect this vampire? But sometimes tempo is important. The sooner you start running away, the less time hunters have to catch up to you. So yeah, supplying hunt like the lairs and combat costed hunters so much that yeah, Helsing naturally goes back, which is still quite important because I know that Heavenly Host is still in a discard pile because it was used here in combat, and I know that Helsing holds two Heavenly Hosts. So in the case of CG, like for example, I can land in Barry and CG doesn't force me back to C. Let's say so it opens a lot of possibilities when you can let's say estimate when you can like estimate hunter's power or CG power you it it helps a lot. Wait, two knives are discarded. One got broken. Ah, and one was discarded by spy. Yeah, okay. Right. So actually it is even quite hard for hunters to resupply because a lot of like proper items are in the second discard pile. Losing items in first rotation is usually not that big of a deal because you can go quite deep uh, in in the items after reshuffling, but the second rotation is really scary. So yeah, here hunters were forced to stay in place. Mina cannot even go to Seward because there's a reckless, so she can't go to Seward to heal faster, which is advantage of reckless in a lair, which is funny. I think I wonder, but that reckless in the here might have done more than reckless in 50, but maybe not. Maybe not. So, and now the clock is ticking in a very important way uh, because what uh, I know is that Valona has fog and Athens has vampire, and obviously Quincy doesn't know that. Quincy knows that there are two encounters. If he moves too late, a saboteur or fog can protect this mature, so he needs to go here naturally. Now I was thinking here, I was a bit afraid that Mina then will jump over to 3 and then kill the vampire with her stake. The issue is that she still has only 4 health, so she may die to ambush, but still there are some escape routes, so she may be safe. Then again, if hunters go too far there, it opens the map and makes it easier for me to run away or to hide, especially if Mina will not be able to scan. I used the secreted cycle. It was uh, maybe a bad decision, probably yes, but then Quincy used his last forewarned on it, which I was surprised. I'm not sure. I think overall it was a mistake by me to ambush, but I really wanted to know if he has the second forewarned because I want to know how am I safe with my second fog. And him losing second forewarned is a big deal because my second fog, if I land on it, he cannot do anything. I can land and and hide and be safe in the fog and gain 6 points in the last week. And yeah, land, hide, move away, which is 9 points in total, enough to win the game. Even with uh, Lair, Vampire Lair. He used Money Trail here, which might be surprising, but I think it may be a good decision, because if I tried for some reason to do some sneaky or tricky move to Adriatic or Black Sea, if he had CG and he had one, he could force my move, like block 57-5, to force me to land back in the east and then finish me off. If I'm in Black Sea, he could have used CG here, and that would be game. Actually, that would be a way for him to win. And right now, he night searched the fog. He was forced to, because if it was a vampire, then that would be really bad. But Athens are blocked. So I see almost 100% win here. Mina has hunters have almost no way to enter Athens. The only way, if Athens mature and it is reckless, I will have 9 points. He doesn't have forewarns anymore, so in the last week, if I will land in the fog, I will go to 12 points. Vampire Lair doesn't matter. If he CGs me out of the fog, it doesn't matter. I will make another step and I win. There are only 2 ways that almost perfect plan doesn't play out. One way is I land earlier and he kills me, which is, let's say, the 0th way. I don't plan to do that. One way, if he does some desperate guess and like moves me at 46 or 57, uses excellent weather, and she would need to, Athens go here. She uses renewed vigor. He moves here and here. Athens go here, and then he uses excellent weather to jump here and then stake it, which would require him a wild guess and a big commitment, and then he doesn't have renewed vigor for when I land, so quite costly. The other way, but I think it may be necessary, the other way is behind the veil and ditch the fog from my hand. So I don't have the safety fog, and I need to maybe or maybe not find the fog with the second rotation of my encounters. I didn't plan to learn my locations because I did want to, because it didn't matter that much. I just want to have fog when I land, but because of the possibility of behind the veil, I decided I want to rotate my deck as fast as possible so that there is at least a chance for getting the fog after encounters or shuffle. Yeah, but right now I'm also moving. I don't want him to supply. I don't want to go to Cagliari. He lands on me or he doesn't matter. I don't want to do some tricky moves. I very much don't want him to supply because I don't want him to find behind the veil. So I move because I cannot die when I move by sea, and if I land in the fog on Monday, I win the game. So yeah, there's a lot of time passing, and I think we can just say that I can spoil the results that yes, he didn't do some crazy weird jump to try for that vampire, and it was a vampire, it matured. I had 9 points, and he didn't find behind the veil. So uh, there's the there's the Sunday. He he was forced to move a lot, and also the hoax mature and reshuffle of all the Dracula events made it even harder to go through all the Dracula events to find the behind the veil. Uh, so yeah, it will be here the end of this like very strategic and combat heavy game. I don't yeah, Quincy like prepares for some mistake from my side, which is understandable after such a long game. It is very common for people to overlook things. Maybe I will make a misclick, maybe I will not notice something, maybe I will forget about the forewarned. Who knows? Maybe I'll land somewhere weird. So he's just fighting to the end, which is admirable and respectable. But I was like just moving through the sea. Uh, it, I had nothing to do, but it took me so much time because I really wanted to make sure, like, mentally check all the events that could have happened all for once in the discard. Can he push me with CG out of the fog? Yes, but it will be too late to count properly the uh, influence points if vampire lair will matter and all of that, obviously. So I wanted to make sure I don't miss something. uh, Fortunately I didn't miss anything, and yeah, I just as I said, if I'm able to land on Monday week 4 in a fog, it is 100%. I cannot lose now. I mean, I cannot. Aha, there is one way for me to misclick. If someone jumps on me, and I will not avoid the fight. So this is the win condition here for hunters, and I need to focus my last ditch of mental energy on that. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of movement, some supplying, a lot of Dracula events, thanks to the Hawks mature. Another like I think important and funny note, if that wasn't a hoax, if that was a vampire, I think murdering that vampire in this specific scenario would be uh, very hard to do. I mean, might be detrimental. The lair mattered, both spies mattered, and obviously Hulk with Darkness Returns speeding up the game, speeding up my trail, and Night Fight that gave me a point, and literally every point matters. If I had one less point, Vampire Lair would uh, would put me down enough that I need to make one more step, and then he would be able, even if I'm in a fog, he is able to push me uh, from fog with the CG and have an opportunity to kill me. So yeah, not to delve into details. Uh, yes, he shows the CG. As I mentioned, only Helsing showed Heavenly Host because he was holding 2 and he didn't manage in the third deck reshuffle find the Heavenly Host. I was thinking that he's planning to push me away from the fog so he can feed in place, but yeah, he overlooked that it's like minor, not that important. Not game deciding, it was for ideas for the tournament. So I feed to have more health, to have more points, and then I move, and GG. That was an epic game. Wait a second, show me. This is important. Show me. Yes, yes, Dracula Uh, so I think it was very interesting game, not only because of what happened, but it because of stuff that did not happen, like Dracula movement, some combat stuff, and all of that. And that's why I wanted to show that for the first time to talk about that. And let me know what you think. If you have maybe some ideas, what you would want to be touched on, like which game would you like to be reviewed, or which topics to talked about, let me know. I will try to approach those topics and maybe show something, maybe, you know, uh, to bring some topics into the discussion, so people will, so we can consider how to play this game in an interesting and good way. Thank you for watching and have a good night.